special guest today is the singer of that song who you just listened to. It's none other than Mitch Tambo, my brother boy. Good morning to you, Mitchy.
Good morning, my brother. Yama yama.
Yama yama to you. What's yama mean?
Hi, it's our greeting.
Cool, in Gamilaraay.
Yeah.
Nice to have you, man. You always, man, I don't know how you get up and present in so much colour and vibrance and entertainment, but it's the Mitch look.
It is, bro. I don't even know how I'm up this early, to be honest, but we're here. The lights are on, and who knows what's next at this point.
My man, how have you been? Give us a snapshot, a little insight into your life at the moment. How have you been holding up?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy times, brother. As you know, like, we're over 200 days collectively of lockdown now. It's been pretty full on. Like, the calendar gets full, it gets empty. It gets full, it gets empty. That's sort of the plight at the moment. I mean, my beautiful wife, Lele, she's expecting, so we're having a bub in, I think just under 10 weeks now. So we're pretty pumped.
So good. Oh man, just as a fella, we're getting to that age where you start considering maybe life's not going to throw your kids in a family, but here you are. I mean, I'm so pumped for you and Leah, and it's absolutely beautiful. How's your role being a stepfather been over the last few years?
Man, it's good. I think sometimes, like, in reflection, you feel like you've been given more than you've gave, kind of thing, because it's such a beautiful experience. You learn so much, and I think you develop like a whole nother level of capacity and love. So it's been a ride, and I've gotten pretty good at playing with Ken and Barbie and doing the do, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, LOL dolls, I should say. Or Poppy surprises. I got to get it right.
You do have to get it right.
Got to get it right, bro. I'll cop it.
How old are your stepchildren?
5 to 15. 5, 12, 15.
Yeah, and I've met them, mate. They are beautiful, strong people. Both. And what's their culture?
West Papua and Tongan.
Beautiful. So you got West Papua and Tongan, and you're bringing in the First Nations vibe. And
that's right.
Oh man, what a house! What a house! It's so.
It's
cool.
all happening here, brother.
Who controls the food at Christmas time?
Oh. Yeah, good one. You know what? Well, Sophie offer the 15, 12. They can both cook really well. And Kalani's just dying to cook. She's like in the kitchen, or just overly wants to help. I'm like, we'll see if that lasts in another 5 years. That just want to be involved in everything, just want to help.
yeah, nice.
It's a beautiful thing, it's good.
Man, where'd you grow up? Give us a little. Have you got brothers and sisters of your own?
No, not really, man. I grew up in Tamworth on Gamilaraay country, and single mum. Like heavily involved with Nan and Pop. Like, we lived with them for quite a while, and yeah, bro, like, just really grew up swimming in the river, eating $2 hot chips with a $1 can of Coke from the pet shop, and just flogging a skateboard, scooter, or bike, whatever was going. That's about it.
Oh, nice. So family is really, it's quite new, but it's pretty special when it's really, really close to you. It's a moving time. Tell us a little bit about your journey in culture, and I want to get into your new track and stuff that you're doing more so in the last few years. But did you grow up knowing language?
So I grew up, from a pretty young age, just really getting hungry and just really wanting to immerse myself in culture. And I think I was just really blessed to be able to grow up in country, because it allowed that vehicle for me to gain a different and deeper understanding of my own identity and connectiveness. So I suppose, from a young age, started to learn traditional song and dance, and that's where language comes into it. And you kind of just grow up in a way where you're always throwing around words, but that's really the extent of it. And then obviously, as I've gotten older, it's become a priority, and really a priority because I just really wanted to be able to express myself in a way that I thought was reflective of who I am. So yeah.
So do you think language is the key message there for First Nations people, and especially listeners and allies? We are hearing more language in songs. It's a bit of a thing. You've done a great job in using your platform with AGT to put it on a main stage. But even you hear Kutcha singing language, and you hear Emily Wurramara singing language. Like, people that don't have major platforms are all singing language. Is that really vital to, I guess, scratch that part of you that Western society doesn't, entertain or connect with?
I can only speak of my experience, and I sing in language because it's who I am. I often get asked this question, and it's often not framed in the way as like language must be the foreign thing, and what's it like to sing in language? But for me, English is the foreign thing, because obviously I'm a fluent English speaker. There's no doubt about that. So it's not foreign in that regard. But I never really grew up, I've only ever sung in language, other than like getting around the odd barbecue and letting out down every road, there's always one more thing. It's never really been the vibes, man. So when I stepped out and started to implement English, that was the most daunting thing. And when it comes back to other artists, I can't really speak on their behalf, but I think we're also in a position now in time where it's safe. It's reasonably safe to sing and speak in our languages, where not that long ago it was a risk, so.
What do they call it? I've lost the words when you think that you're not meant to be doing what you're doing. I can't think of the word, but is it in First Nations circles? Being a First Nations person myself, and we roll around in some similar circles.
Yep.
There's enough external pressures of you white fella, what would you know? You got a bit of black fro on your little pinky and all that jazz. It can happen internally as well.
Welcome to my world, brother.
What are you doing speaking on behalf of our people? Yeah, like you haven't. When did you start being black? All that jazz, is that real?
Man, is it real? I wish it wasn't.
It's true, huh?
Yeah, look, I cop it all the time, and I'm trying to, I suppose, develop thick skin to a degree, because what I do anyway, I feel like I'm constantly in somewhat of a vulnerable space, because I'm sharing who I am, and I'm sharing facets of my own heart and spirit, so it's hard to not get impacted. So, it becomes a tightrope of trying to not let those comments, keep you awake at night, because often are not the people that let them fly. They've already moved on to the next person, and you're stuck there dwelling and pulling apart that one comment, So
that's a great angle on it. Imposter syndrome. Thank you for the chat. We've got some funny questions coming through. You just came off a bit of a chat about facial hair.
Okay.
I don't know why we're talking about this. You seem clean shaven, man. Can you grow a beard?
There's some stubble there, man. Come on.
Yeah, yeah. You don't need to oil that up. Somewhere where you've had to, I guess, polish yourself up is you got on mainstream TV, which was an absolute feat in itself. Those game shows and whatever they call them, reality TV shows, can be tricky. They can be challenging. We obviously know a few people that have been on them and aren't that fond of talking about the experience. What was your experience going through AGT or reality TV?
Mine was incredible, and I'm not saying that others aren't, but mine was an amazing experience. I don't know if it's because I went in there with a realistic perspective, but all in all, though, people were great. So I'm not even saying it like they weren't. Like, my experience was great. It was very straightforward. People couldn't do enough to help and make sure you were happy. And the way that it was for me is everyone there wanted you to succeed and get out there and have your best possible performance. And if in rehearsals for some reason you just weren't hitting the note right, would happily nut it out until whatever you needed in your in-ears was there to be right, So my experience was great, but it's daunting. Like, I'm not saying the nerves weren't there. I was peeking out every step of the way. But that year I made a little pact with myself, and the pact was, because I realized that year, I come to this self-discovery that I had anxiety. I never knew that, but once I knew it, I realized how it had controlled me. So I sort of made a pact to myself that I didn't want to be governed by that, and I didn't want to be governed by fear, and that I would be more open to opportunities and putting myself in positions, to grow, and to learn, and to even elevate if I could. So when that opportunity arose, I just went for it and just tried to keep reminding myself of that, and also reminding myself of, okay, man, if you get out here and you sing a bung note and it all goes to water, in the scheme of your life, it's just a drop in the ocean. Like, don't put your whole life and your whole world into 4 minutes, which is kind of hard to do, but I kept selling myself it anyway. It seemed to work.
Was that the support as well? Was that the general feeling as well within production?
What do you mean?
Is it because it's going to be competitive? It's competitive, but it's supportive as well. Was the production team? I'm guessing there's a lot of non-Indigenous people in the production crew. They're just like, yeah, mate. What are you singing again? While on bar, whatever. And 3, 2, Mitch, go. Like, and you're like, man, this ain't gonna float. This ain't gonna float. Were you apprehensive? Was the anxiety? Is anxiety attached to performance?
Oh no, just
general.
life, I think.
Yeah.
But obviously ramped up with anxiety because ramped up with performance because you're in the front. And it all falls on your shoulders, kind of thing, and also more so because you care so much. I think sometimes you can overcare when it comes to performing or when it comes to playing sport. Like, you care to the point of making yourself crazy and not enjoying it, and I don't think that's healthy. It's like, it's a fine line, isn't it? But in terms of what you're saying, no, not at all, because the way I see it is, let me handle my culture and identity. And you guys handle what you're good at, and hopefully we meet in the middle and it all works out. You know what I mean?
But there's preparation involved. I think you're kind of not talking about something that may seem less obvious or maybe obvious to people. There is work involved to get to a confident space. Oh, yeah. It ain't just I'm not doing my research and I'm just going to rock up and have a go at remembering my language. Like, I'm sure there's lots of.
Nah, man, I had my wall covered.
Yeah.
I had my wall absolutely covered, and I had things I'll look at every day to keep my mind right, keep my mental on track. I was super focused. It was the first time in my life as well. I was like, you know what, man? Like, if you're going to take on You're the Voice, probably nothing wrong with just getting a couple of vocal lessons.
Might pay,
like, you're in the semi-final. It's probably going to pay for you to get a couple of vocal lessons.
Who'd you go to?
There's this amazing woman here in Melbourne called Susie Ahern. She's incredible. She's such a down-to-earth, incredible person. And
cool.
Yeah, so I was like, she's like, oh, so what are you doing? Just singing You're the Voice in my language and just learning it. And just got times against me. So can you just help me?
How many songs were you chewing around with? You're the Voice is just, it's got a lot of history, a lot of thoughts. Oh, that's feral. That's white Australia. You could get those people coming out again going, you sucker, you're just a game player. You're just going for the audience and then slipping in a little bit of culture in the background. I don't know. I'm just making it up because I definitely didn't think it. But I thought when you came out with that song, it was just like, yes, because the actual lyrics of the song are just epic.
Powerful.
Epic, powerful thing. Were you confident that song was going to hit the mark as much as it did?
No, not at all. And you're right. Like, the decision was made, like, got through the first round, regroup, have a discussion, chuck You're the Voice of the table. And I think it's because I was so naive, because I'm not musical in that way. I'm musical in the sense of, if it feels good, then that must be good. Like, it's not like, oh my God, this is such a massive vocal range and you got to hit all these notes. My thing was just like, oh yeah, okay, I got up there, like, Mom, all right, we'll do it, you know. But the thing that was daunting was that it was like, okay, this is going to end up something that's super controversial because all of like, you know, that kind of culture is going to come out and I'm just going to get slammed because it is very much the unsung anthem of the dominant discourse. You know? So I was like, brother boy over here, he might get some views, but maybe the majority of the views is just going to be hate, you know? And I'll never forget like being so blown away because all those mob come out and flooded my inboxes with love. Like there was this one night, man, I swear, like, and I was laughing, I passed out laughing, not out of like running someone down, but out of shock. And this guy, he hit my inbox late at night, and he sounded like, I'll just say the stereotypical vibe of like an old farmer out in the middle of the scrub, like on his property, and he's like, Mitch, mate, just ring him, mate. Just your version, you're the voice, mate. Oh my God, mate. It was like that. And he went on this, you know, it went for a while, you know, of him just being blown away by my version at the end, out of nowhere, he just said, anyway, mate, love ya, good night.
Yeah.
Man, I was laughing because I was like, here I was thinking I was just going to get torn to absolute shreds. And people from all walks of life and around the globe just, it was just all love. So it was totally something I was not anticipating, you know?
It's been so effective that the 2032 Brisbane Olympics used it as their bid to get the Olympics to Brisbane, and it won. Tilt of the feather, cap to you. Thank you. That's what kind of power this song's got. Tell us a little bit now about on the back of releasing some really big anthem songs. You've just released a song called Heal. Tell me a little bit about what this one's about.
Yeah, Heal's you know, it was written in a lockdown in a garage. Let's put that out there.
Don't try and put drama on it. You're putting drama on it. You're like, oh man, my leg was broken. Leg was broken. Everyone was fighting. The roof was falling off. But I just found it. I found it.
There was this random mist in the air. It was like someone had a smoke machine when we wrote it. I don't know. Does this happen?
Continue on.
I shall. So no, I was in the garage, wrote it, and when I first wrote it, okay, and this was pre finding out the NAIDOC theme. Just so you're across it. Yeah, pre finding out the NAIDOC theme,
which was Heal Country.
So when I initially wrote it, it was with all that in mind. Calling the storm, come and cleanse country, let us heal. So I was just really thinking of the idea of being back on my country, and just that's why I hear at the start like that. So I was like envisioning, like imagine like this old fella and our ancestors sitting above the storm clouds and calling them in. And as they called them in, it was to call this rain and this storm to come and cleanse and heal country, like allow those rivers that haven't ran because of drought to overflow, and all these rivers, you know, filled with chemicals from the runoff from farms, to just be that overfilled that it just washes them out and cleanses and allows us to just come and bathe in those rivers, you know, and connect to country and just feel that absolute abundance and unconditional love of country. And then a couple of months after, I said to Leah, my wife, I kind of feel like I've written unconsciously about my own grief and about, you know, my own trials and tribulations, like about navigating your own storm. And the flip side of that, of how, you know, if you picture a massive river running through our spirit, how sometimes in life, you know, things happen, like we lose people or we go through things, but there's all these pressures in the Western world to move on and get back to work and get back to life. And sometimes we don't allow ourselves the time to acknowledge those feelings and that pain or whatever it is we're going through. And we create blockages in the river in our spirit. And sometimes we need to go back to those blockages and just acknowledge what they are and let go. and let that river flow again. And letting go can be doing the old ugly cry, can be doing, multitudes of things, but letting that river flow again. And what we find is around the bend of that river is just love. It's freedom. It's the ability to feel life and, to have a whole new perspective on life. So it's been interesting because it started off here and then it ended up with two storms, one's calling all that cleansing and one's the storm you're in. So yeah, it's a song that, it means a lot to me. And, that's why I also opted to come out with this stripped back version, because I just want people to feel that I'm actually being real, and it's with the intent that you can feel that it's like an outpour from the heart. And, I just really hope that it can just be medicine to at least one person, because we're in this lockdown and we're losing so many people to suicide and to mental health and, to so many different things, and COVID, of course. But, I hope that it could just be a little bit of medicine.
You just touched on how important, artists do usually speak from connection. A lot of First Nations artists can't help but talk about their real stories. I've known you long enough to know that you really wait on something that's real active in your heart to write something, or when you speak, you think and really connect. What's Dreamtime Princess about? And there's a little bit of a tie-in why I'm talking about that, because it's Women's Health Week, which someone let me know yesterday. I thought, hey, what better thing to talk about with Mitch than your last release song, which was Dreamtime Princess, which I had the fortunate honour of hearing live a couple of years back.
Yeah.
Remember when we caught up with all the NAIDOC, the young emerging leaders? It was just powerful stuff. Tell us a little bit about what that song means to you and how's that travelled in the outer sphere.
Yeah, so Dreamtime Princess, I wrote it, like you said, a good couple of years ago. I created, and it come from being a young fella, and I remember walking with the brother boys at night somewhere and just having that yarn, what kind of partner do you want one day? And I just turned around and said, I want a DTP, my brother. And, they're just like, gee, you're Womba. Like, you're crazy, man. What are you talking about? I'm like, I want a Dreamtime Princess, bros. And everyone just losing it, Troy. Like, you know what it's like when you're the mob. They just lost. Your brother's lost it, Anyway, I was brought back to that years later, and I was, wow, this is a song title, this is a song. So I laid down a beat and a hook, and as soon as I did that, it was like the ancestors, Mitch, it's not going to be that kind of fun song. Like, you need to learn some things here. So for a week, I feel like I literally was taken on almost like a spiritual awakening. Like, it was that intense.
Wow.
I started to have real conversations organically, not driven by the song, about some sisters and their, experience with domestic violence. And I remember it just hit differently. And then I wanted to know more. So I started to get on the old Google and research, and I found how severely overrepresented the women of our community are in terms of domestic violence. Like, at the time, they were varied stats, but it was like 35 times to 80 times, dependent upon location, more likely to be, exposed to domestic violence. And wow. And then, funnily enough, it was when Black Panther was out, and I come out of Black Panther, and I was with this young lad, and, he's all pumped up and, Wakanda forever. And I was like, bro, I'll talk to you in a second. Like, I felt so emotional, Troy. I could have wept then and there, because I was starting to learn. And that movie made me really reflect on what it would have been like pre-colonization, because, the women in Black Panther, they're so upheld. They're warriors, forward thinkers, at the top of the food chain. Black Panther's sister's like this epic scientist, doctor, they're so esteemed, and yet there was this real beauty that was encapsulated too. It was incredible, and it made me think about our society, the Gamilaraay society, our matriarchal society, and I maybe start to get emotional. And anyway, the next day I woke up, got up late on a Sunday, I'll never forget, chucked on Netflix, had it on my lap on the couch, watching a bit of Redfern Now, And it was an episode where the sister girl, she got like dragged into or raped in an alleyway on the way home from a night out.
Right.
And I remember I just slammed the laptop. It was like a movie. This is for real. Slammed the laptop down. And I said out loud, I was by myself, I can't take any more of this. And I just laid on the ground in this little unit by myself and just cried my eyes out, man, for like 40 minutes. And just realized, the sacrifices my mum went through as a single mother, all of these things, and the state of our women that our women are in, and just what, there's ancestors I don't even know about because we can't find them. Like, God knows what happened to them, And yeah, I was like, okay, this song has to have a meaning. It's got to be real, but I want to keep it fun. I want to keep it uplifting, but I need it to tell this story because we need to break this stigma around not talking about it down, and we need to shatter it. And also we need to uplift our women. Like, we come from the oldest living culture on the planet, and that's only through the beautiful gift of life. And that gift of life comes through, our matriarch's sacred womb. There's no greater gift than that. And when we talk about royalty, we talk about the kings and queens and Commonwealth, but in reality, there's nothing more royal than the women in our community. No, it's just nothing. It's uncomparable. And like, we could debate it all day, but there's no debate. It's signed, sealed, and delivered. We're the oldest living continual culture on the planet, and we're only here because of our matriarchs. And why we got deadly brothers and men in our community, we're only here because of our matriarchs. And the fact that the stat is so high and overrepresented in domestic violence is just absolutely heartbreaking. And, once I released the song, there was a couple of lads come out, weren't happy. Oh, you're on your high horse, making us look like all us black fellas are perpetrators. And I'm like, brother, I've never said through any conversation that it's black fellas committing domestic violence. I'm saying our women are overrepresented. We're in 2021, and our women aren't just with black fellas, we're with all men from all walks of life. The severe thing about it all is the overrepresentation. And I think that it's important that all of us as men, we get together, and talk about how we can become better allies and how we can heal. Because that's, we can't allow our trauma to become our partners, to become our kids, to become that full circle motion, because we're circle people. And that's with good and with bad, that's just how it is. And it is what it is. So yeah, I come out with this message and kept the song. If you ever get to hear the song's very fun. It's very 90s throwback. It's like selected, respect, connected, like very old school. But it's just got that deeper meaning. So yeah.
Yeah. So you had to pay off Salt and Pepper for that little clip. That's good.
Yeah.
You talk about it's really cool. It's really cool. I mean, in very commercialized ways, you talk about the president of the United. There's every good woman, the first woman. I love it. I love using those little things. We talk about Indigenous stuff. That our matriarchs were there at the front. They were at the front of wartime and battles. They were the front. They're the toughies. And I think all men. That is a generalization, but all men could change their where they position women in their life, and I don't think we treat them the same.
It's
as when we think about a bloke, we think about dad, even dad and mum. Dad and mum. Who's dad? Who's mum? Oh, dad's. I'm sure there's some men out there that still think dad's the stronger one of the two, or or we think we might be standing next to a woman or a female just in a sporting arena, and you think you're dominating him in all the ways in your head already. Like, shut up. Who are you to tell me? But you would never say that to a guy. Stuff like that. I find I'm thinking of that personally right now when you're speaking. Right. I think you're spot on. It's important to deal with it and keep on it. We've got a question come through, and also actually let's talk. How's when's Leah due? Are you like polishing that little genie bottle? What's going on? Ready to go?
November.
Cool.
November, and it's going to be epic because we're getting attitude already. So I'm bracing myself, Troy. I'm bracing myself, brother. I am.
Talking about matriarchs, how's Leah been through the pregnancy? It would be just amazing to watch.
She's incredible.
Yeah.
You can't imagine what they're going through.
Nah,
like,
it's nuts.
honestly, it's so
nuts.
full on.
It's nuts.
It is so full on, and she's just, yeah, she doesn't complain, and when she does, she's like, you know, am I being a bit? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, you barely even say anything. Like, please be like, you know, whatever it is, because you're carrying life, and like the thing is, bro, is that baby's massive, dude. I think it's my genes, because she's like, I was a big baby, and I think my mum was a big baby, and they do this percentile thing. You know the whole percentile rate?
No, go on, educate
me. Go on, so if you're like under 50% or whatever, I think it's like not, you know, like below average growth. Well, baby's 99%. That's all I have to say.
Leah pops out giant.
Dude.
I don't think you got to say.
We're out here. And like, there's been times where we got an ultrasound.
Oh, yeah.
And they go and put that thing on Leah's tummy, right? And this girl, she was in there. Man, I'm like, is it really this long? And out of the blue, she goes, I'm sorry, I've got to go and get my supervisor. Because she's like, babies just, they don't want to bar me. They keep dodging me left, right, and center, and now they've moved their whole body inward into Leah, so I can't see them.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, Leah's like, it's your baby, look at that. I'm like, oh, come on.
Stubborn. The stubborn jab. The stubborn jab. You want to go? You want to go?
Yeah.
So good. So good. Mitch, I really appreciate you coming on here, and you've got so much going on in your life, and I just think it's a beautiful journey of your own. I know we talk about women in your life, but it's great to see you've got a good support crew in your life and finally found someone that can amplify your journey. And I love seeing Leah. She's got her own musical journey. She's standing right next to you in your most of your performances and stuff.
Yep.
It's absolutely beautiful. Tell us a little bit about Tambo Talk and how that's been for you, especially during COVID. I mean, I resonate with that because I'm using this show as a platform for me to connect in a time where I can't see anyone. Yeah. What's Tambo Talk been like? You being on the mic side and getting your guests, how's that been for you?
Man, I love it.
It's the best, huh?
I want a radio show, Troy. I just love it. Honestly. And I just think I want to do that whole, you're listening to FM 92.9.
Hey, well, the invite's there. You can take on after 9 o'clock one day, sure.
Oh, look out.
You can take the evenings.
No, but Tambo Talk, I actually started the first lockdown, whenever that was. And it was just really like, you got to get moving again. You need to do something, because I was starting to get into that little spiral of neggy, you know, like not knowing what's going on, you know. So I just did Instagram lives, and then partnered with NITV and ended up on their Facebook for, I think, Friday nights for a season. And then Facebook has now partnered with me and endorsed it, and now I'm live back on not live, sorry, but I'm delivering it back through my Facebook.
Oh, cool.
And it's been awesome just to just talk with people from all walks of life, like what you're doing, and just being able to take the focus off yourself and just get to know someone else and celebrate their own achievements and hear their story. Like, I love it. You know, I love talking with people and hearing what motivates people and what they've had to overcome to get to where they are. I think it's incredible. So
it's been great. I've got a question. I better ask it. Hey, Mitch, it's inspiring to hear how you've battled anxiety and then decided not to give in to the fear or let it control your choices. Any sources of strength you can suggest young people to draw on to overcome battles in their mind?
Yeah, great question. I think, well, when it comes to, youth, I mean, it's a crazy thing. I think the best thing you can do as a young person is draw on your supports and open up that conversation. Because I think sometimes with anxiety, it can enslave you to yourself, and you don't open up and talk about it. With me, I didn't open up and disclose it because I didn't know. That was the thing. Like, it was literally like one day, I think it was before that carnival that we play in, actually, bro. Right. Me and Troy play in a basketball carnival, Koori Knockout, sometimes. And it was just before that knockout, and it dawned on me. So I made a pact with myself, and I said, every time you go to the free throw line in the knockout, you need to quietly say to yourself, I rebuke anxiety and fear of my life.
Huh.
And I said it every free throw line. Every time I went to the free throw, I said it to myself, like, just under my breath. I rebuke you, anxiety and fear. You have no place in my life. Get.
You went 2 of 11 at that tournament, I think, at the free throw line. Just
every free throw.
Just a little disclaimer. 2 of 11.
Yeah, go on.
Now I know why. Mate, his head's not even on the game.
What? But it was just the beginning of acknowledging it and like.
Yeah, sure.
And knowing that, coming to a realization that it actually had a stronghold over me. Do you know what I mean? Like it actually had power over me. And I honestly never knew I had it. But once I knew it, like I could identify it throughout my life. And now I've gotten so much better at dealing with it, I'm just I'm not like, I'm a driven person, but I've gotten calmer, got more relaxed. When things aren't going my way, like a sound check just got moved back an hour or moved an hour forward. Who really cares, man? It's not going to impact. But with anxiety, you can allow it to just ramp up everything. And all of a sudden, something that's really minute, you're just peeking out over,
Yeah.
Where now it's not saying it's not there, but it's just nowhere near like it was. And I'm not saying that, like, I can see where I was and where I am now, like with certain situations. And, obviously Leah's been incredible because I opened up the dialogue with her and, you just want to get through it. And you don't want it to get in the way of you having a good life. And, but I think, not everyone has those supports and stuff, but that's the only thing I can really say. It's just about acknowledging it and opening up and having the conversation. And if you're a young person and, you've got a good relationship with mum or dad or your caregiver, it's just open it up, and talk about it.
I don't know about you, but certainly having a child in your life it's really nice because you open up thinking that you're instructing them, but you're like, whoa, that's actually something I better do as well. I tell Lockie all the time, I've now inherited an 8-year-old and I can see fear in his life about something that he shouldn't be scared of. And I'm like, what are you doing, man? Like, just risk assess. Are you going to die right now? Is it going to probably be fun afterwards? Well, then just do it. Just do it right now. Jump off the pier. I don't care. There's, and it's kind of, I don't know, but yeah, it's nice having a mirror put up to you through children, and I'm really excited to know that you're having one of biologically your own, even though stepchildren are your family. Hey, Mitch, really look forward to look forward to following you, and thanks heaps for taking some time out ahead of family life, and hope you get some rest. And I know it's early.
Go back to bed, bro.
Yeah, I know, man. I can see have you got your hoodie on? Have you got your hoodie on?
I got the hoodie on. I got the hat on because there's no way I'm putting anything in my hair at this hour because I'm going back to bed.
Don't. I'm going to play.
And shout out to you, brother, because I know that you got your DTP there now. So congratulations. She's a strong, deadly sister, doing some great work at this time and opening up the conversation as well.
Yeah, she is. I'll make sure. She's listening in the TV. I can hear it in the background. I'm going to play Dreamtime Princess for the ladies in the house. Mitch Tambo. I love you, brother. You're a champion. We'll speak to you soon.